the hell you talking about, Joe?
On Memorial Day, I proudly stood with a black man.
For some odd reason, I don't believe you.
In 1969, I got involved deeply in the civil rights movement, and so I got involved as a kid in the civil rights movement.
I was not an activist. I worked at an all-black swimming pool in the east side of Wilmington, Delaware. I was involved. I was involved in what they were thinking, what they were feeling. I was involved, but I was not out marching. I was not down in Selma. I was not anywhere else.
This man is responsible for locking up blacks, thousands of black people, and for whatever reason, people like to look over that. I don't know why. And then he's a pathological liar. He's the original gloat. I know Michael Cohen has been coined. I know he's been coined that, but he's the original gloat, man. For real. As Vernon Jones put it, Biden's crime bill locked up thousands of blacks and clearly destroyed an entire generation of black males. Thank God Donald Trump freed many of them. Joe Biden, a great white, I don't want to say none of that. I didn't even mean to say white. Anyhow, last night apparently he was on his propaganda, try to appeal to black people campaign as he attended a rally of with I think it was Kamala Harris. Anyhow, Kamala Harris and Biden rally in Philadelphia, and apparently he had a malfunction.
Promised we'd start to reconnect black and brown and overlooked neighborhoods cut off by highways in the 60s, and decades of disinvestment as a consequence of it, including here in Philly. Well, we're changed that with the Recovery Act. Right now, you see all the construction going on the highways around.
But as somebody just pointed out, the Recovery Act that was signed by Obama in 2009, it was also known as the stimulus bill, or porkaloose, by the detractors. Biden is referencing a legislation from 15 years ago. In this pathetic attempt to try to get the black vote, bro, it's almost like, dog, like, give up. I don't even know why you're trying at this point. They even have a whole compilation of him called Liar in Chief. We're gonna watch it.
When I marched in the civil rights movement, I did not march with a 12-point program. I marched with tens of thousands of others to change attitudes. And we changed attitudes.
He lied to voters, according to the New York Times, quoting aides of Biden's, about having marched in the civil rights movement.
I got involved in the civil rights movement. I got involved in desegregated movie theaters. They organized voter registration drives. From the time I got involved as a high school kid in the civil rights movement. But I was a kid involved in the civil rights movement, desegregating restaurants and movie theaters in my state. From the time I got involved as a kid in the civil rights movement. Sit-ins and desegregating restaurants. And I got involved in the civil rights movement just as a kid. And that's why I got so deeply involved in my community with the civil rights movement. When I sat in black churches in the east side of Wilmington getting ready to, and by the way, next to two Jewish rabbis, getting ready to go out and desegregate movie theaters in Delaware. I come out of the civil rights movement. I start off in the black churches and we'd go from there to desegregate movie theaters. For real, I got involved in the civil rights movement. From the time I've been 18 years old, I've been involved in causes from the civil rights movement. Got involved in the civil rights movement and desegregating restaurants, that kind of thing. Coming out of the civil rights movement and being involved in the Jewish community as a kid in the civil rights movement. I got involved in the civil rights movement and getting ready to go out.
Oh my gosh.
Restaurants and movie theaters. That's what got me involved in civil rights as a kid. I got very engaged, in my case, the civil rights movement.
Quote, more than once, advisors had gently reminded Mr. Biden of the problem with this formulation. He had not actually marched during the civil rights movement, and more than once, Mr. Biden assured them that he understood and kept telling the story anyway. That is really, really weird.
And this CNN. And oh, Lord, he did not make the case for the people who like to call everybody DEI hires. He literally, well, as Johnny Maga put it, casually talking about Kamala Harris as a DEI hire, bro. Like, you can't make this up.
To me, the values of diversity, equality, inclusion are literally, and that's not kidding, the core strengths of America. That's why I'm proud to have the most diverse administration in history. It taps into the full talents of our country. And it starts at the top with the vice president.
This is America, y'all. This is our president right here, man. This is the leader of the free world, who just casually said that DEI starts with Kamala Harris. It started with her, huh? Oh, what a mockery. Y'all seeing all this in real time. You get to see it for yourself. This video isn't me trying to convince you of what to believe. You look at the footage yourself and decide for you. Your common sense is not gonna defy you as long as you don't try to run away from it. That's all I'm saying. And just because I had to go through the pain of watching this, I'm gonna make you watch it.
Do I see people testifying? Can I get a witness?
Tell you what, you gonna need a lot of them in a minute. If everything go the way it's looking like it's gonna go, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna need a lot of them. But let me tell you why I can't even take any of these shenanigans serious. Y'all, it's you watch it, you see for yourself, you hear for yourself. Like, even Kamala Harris, even the VP, the DEI hire, as Joe Biden put it, thought that Joe Biden's history of racism was so, how do I say, horrific that she chose to bring it up in a debate. It's crazy how a little position at as the VP can completely make you forget about all of this.
So, on the issue of race, I couldn't agree more that this is an issue that is still not being talked about truthfully and honestly. There is not a black man I know, be he a relative, a friend, or a coworker, who has not been the subject of some form of profiling or discrimination. Growing up, my sister and I had to deal with the neighbor who told us her parents couldn't play with us because we were black. And I will say also that in this campaign, we have also heard, and I'm going to now direct this at Vice President Biden, I do not believe you are a racist. And I agree with you when you commit yourself to the importance of finding common ground. But I also believe, and it's personal, and I was actually it was hurtful to hear you talk about the reputations of two United States senators who built their reputations and career on the segregation of race in this country. And it was not only that, but you also worked with them to oppose busing.
So you still don't believe? Okay.
And, you know, there was a little girl in California who was part of the second class to integrate her public schools. And she was—
You know what? I'm kind of glad the internet just stopped that for us for a second, y'all.
Bused to school every day. And that little girl was me. So I will tell you that on this subject, it cannot be an intellectual debate among Democrats. We have to take it seriously. We have to act swiftly. As Attorney General of California, I was very proud to put in place a requirement that all my special agents would wear body cameras and keep those cameras on.
Senator Harris, thank you. Vice President Biden, you have been invoked. We are going to give you a chance to respond. Vice President Biden.
It's a mischaracterization of my position across the board. I did not praise racist. That is not true. Number one. Number two, if we want to have this campaign—
We got you on video.
Civil rights, and whether I did or not, I'm happy to do that. I was a public defender. I didn't become a prosecutor. I came out and I left a good law firm to become a public defender when in fact my city was in flames because of the assassination of Dr. King. Number one. Number two, as the Vice President of the United States, I work with a man who, in fact, we worked very hard to see to it we dealt with these issues in a major, major way. The fact is that in terms of busing, you would have been able to go to school the same exact way because it was a local decision made by your city council. That's fine. That's one of the things I argued for, that we should be breaking down these lines. But so the bottom line here is, look, everything I've done in my career, I ran because of civil rights. I continue to think we have to make fundamental changes in civil rights. And those civil rights, by the way, include not just only African Americans, but the LGBT community.
But Vice President Biden, do you agree today that you were wrong to oppose busing in America then.
No.
Do you agree?
I did not oppose busing in America. What I opposed is busing ordered by the Department of Education. That's what I opposed.
Well,
I
there
did
was
not
a
oppose.
failure of states to integrate
No,
public schools in America. I was part of the second class to integrate Berkeley, California public schools almost 2 decades after Brown v. Board of Education.
Because your city council made that decision. It was a
So
local
that's
decision.
where the federal government must step
The
in. That's why
federal
we have the
government
Voting
must
Rights Act and the Civil Rights Act. That's why we need to pass the Equality Act. That's why we need to pass the ERA, because there are moments in history where states fail to preserve the civil rights of all
I have
people.
supported the ERA from the very beginning when I
Vice
ran
President
for the
Biden, 30 seconds, because I want to bring other people into this.
I supported the ERA from the very
This is
beginning.
getting good,
I'm
huh?
the guy that extended the Voting Rights Act for 25 years. We got to the place where we got 98 out of 98 votes in the United States Senate doing it. I've also argued very strongly that we, in fact, deal with the notion of denying people access to the ballot box. I agree that everybody, once they, in fact, they should. Anyway, my time.
Man, and it's so much more. She even brought up the crime bill in that debate at some point and all that. But she starts off by saying she don't believe he's racist, and then continues to say, hey, why do you promote this racism or racist people and all of that type of stuff. So there's the contradiction there. As far as this whole rally that Harris and Biden put together, first of all, it's something that you would never see Trump do. It's one thing that you would never see Trump do, and that's divide the people. He's not into that. He's about bringing people together. And I think my dog, Will Johnson, his Twitter handle, I'm Mr. Will Johnson. He spoke about this very, very elegantly. Let's check it out.
So let me get this straight. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris go and hold an event. Mm-hmm. And this event is for black voters for Biden and Harris. Mm-hmm. This is so stupid. This is exactly what the Democrats do. Every 2 to 4 years, they go to the black community and say, hey, we're here for you. Mm-hmm. And every 2 to 4 years, you get black people coming together, clapping their hands, like with symbols between their hands. And they say, oh, yes, this is so wonderful. Stop being stupid. The Democrat parties don't care about your black tail. And then you go, but Will Johnson, President Trump doesn't say anything about black people. Does he have to? President Trump only needs to address the American people. And then y'all bros get upset because President Trump ain't directly coming talking to black people. He shouldn't have to. He's only talking to the American people. If Joe Biden did the same thing, I wouldn't be doing this video right now. But every 2 to 4 years, you black people jump on the bandwagon of the Democrat Party telling y'all they're going to do this for you. They have this for you, trying to keep you out of poverty when they are the ones putting you in poverty. And black people keep falling for the okie doke. I don't get it. I don't understand. And then you're going to get mad at me for calling it out. I'm going to tell you this much. Be better. Stop falling for it. You don't have to vote for President Trump. That's fine. I'm not asking you to vote for President Trump, but dadgummit. Look who's doing this to the black community. It is not President Trump, and it's most definitely not the Republicans. It has always been these Democrats. And until you realize that, you're going to always be in a predicament thinking that you're a victim. I'm not a victim. I want to be victorious. Be better. Be better.
And what's sad is not looking at yourself like a victim will actually will bring hatred towards you. Seriously, if you walk around and say, you know what, I'm not a victim, I want to be victorious. I'm not somebody who has to live under the mindset that I'm somehow being haunted and oppressed just based off of my skin color alone. And I have chance and opportunity every single day and then I will have my own unique set of obstacles, not because of my skin color. Maybe in some cases, maybe. But everybody has their own unique set of obstacles that we have to overcome in order to achieve our goals in life. I don't need all this pandering from Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. I don't need all this. I need somebody who's authentic. I don't need no teleprompter. I don't need no crazy phrases or provoking phrases to the black community. I just need somebody to be real. And like he said, like he said, look, all y'all gotta do is forget the person. Look at the policy. Look at who's actually out here harming us. Put your feelings to the side for a second. And even if you are somebody who's just black, cool. But if you're going to be that way, at least actually look at the facts of the matter. Look who actually has your best interests at heart. Who don't. And that right there is just enough.